This is Miss Boo.
The police refused to recover a body in our local caves, but every time I saw it, it looked like it had been moved. 2 weeks ago, a corpse was found in a cave just a few blocks from my childhood home, and I first heard about it while sitting in an airport, waiting to fly back for spring break. My younger brother told me the man hadn't been identified yet, and that he'd been found wedged deep inside a narrow passage called First Date. It's a strange part of the cave system, wide at the entrance but tightening further in until it becomes almost impossible to pass through. When I got back that evening, my brother took me to see it. The police had blocked off most of the entrances, but one was still open, and as we stepped into the cave, I could hear voices echoing from somewhere deeper inside. There were several of them, but I couldn't understand what they were saying, and by the time we moved closer, the voices stopped completely. When I reached the entrance of the passage and looked inside, I saw the body immediately. He was wedged sideways into the rock, maybe 10 meters in, held upright by the pressure of the stone. The limestone had pulled the skin of his face tight, almost stretching it into a smile, and his eyes were still open, facing the entrance as if he had been trying to crawl out. A couple of days later, I went back again, and something about it felt wrong. The body looked further inside than before, and his expression had changed. Instead of looking like he had been trying to escape, it now looked like he had died trying to move deeper into the passage. I told myself it was just my imagination, or maybe something had shifted, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. That night, around 3 in the morning, I went back alone to retrieve my brother's phone, which he had dropped near the entrance. As I entered the cave, I heard voices again, low and overlapping, but this time, they didn't sound like English. I turned off my light and stood there for a moment, just listening, trying to understand what I was hearing, but it stopped just as suddenly as before. When I turned my light back on, the body was still there, and I could see the phone lying just a few feet from the narrowest part of the passage. I had brought a reacher, but I still had to get closer than I wanted to. As I crawled in, the walls pressed tightly against my chest and back, making it harder to breathe, and the smell of decay grew stronger the deeper I went. When I finally got close enough, I thought I saw something move, just a slight shift of the man's head, like it had slipped under its own weight. I stared at it for a few seconds, trying to convince myself it was nothing, and then reached out and grabbed the phone. That's when I heard it, a soft shuffling sound coming from somewhere ahead of me. Before I could even react, the body suddenly lurched forward and then was violently pulled backward, as if something on the other side was dragging it through the rock. The space was far too small for anything to pass through, but it didn't matter. The body forced its way into the gap, tearing as it went, until it disappeared completely into the darkness beyond. I just froze there, staring into the empty space where it had been, and then I saw them. 3 figures, standing on the other side of the passage, barely visible in the dark. Their clothes were filthy, their hair matted, and one of them stepped closer to the opening and smiled at me in a way that didn't feel human. For a moment, neither of us moved, and then he disappeared and came back holding a long piece of metal, which he pushed through the gap toward me, trying to reach me. That was enough. I got out of there as fast as I could, barely feeling the rock scraping against me as I forced my way back through the passage. The next day, I went to the police and told them everything, but they didn't believe me. They said the body had already been recovered hours before I went down there, and that there was nothing left in the cave. I don't know what I saw that night, but I know it wasn't a rescue team, and there's no possible way anyone could have been on the other side of that passage. Whatever is in those caves, it shouldn't be there.
The first time I saw the red threads, I thought it was nothing, just lint. Something stuck to my fingers, but I hadn't touched anything red. Not the table, not the cup, not even my clothes. I wiped them off. They came off easily, too easily. My girlfriend laughed it off, said I probably had something in my pocket. I checked, nothing. We went to bed, and that's when I dreamed. There was a thread coming out of my hand. It didn't hurt, it just kept going, unwinding, like I was coming apart. I woke up and they were back, more of them this time, on my palms too, and now I could feel them, like something was moving under my skin. She suggested we go hiking, said there was a trail, a lake she wanted to show me. I asked her the name. She smiled. Lake Effenligger. I looked it up. It doesn't exist here, only in Norway. When I got home, she'd already packed everything. Gear, water, bags, like she knew we were going. I told her it was too late. She just stared at me. Her eyes weren't right. It's the perfect time, she said. I should have left. I didn't. I got in the car. The threads got worse on the drive, crawling up my arms, burning, like something inside me was trying to get out. I tried to wipe them away, but they kept coming back. She told me to stop, said it like she knew something I didn't, like she always knew. The trail wasn't marked, just a pull-out and trees. She got out of the car and moved. Wrong, too fast, too smooth, like her body didn't follow the same rules anymore. I told her we were going home. She stopped, looked at me, and smiled. You always say that, she said. It never works. I tried the car. It wouldn't start, not even a sound. And then she leaned in. See? I asked her if we'd go home after. She got close, too close. As always, she said, if you come with me. So I did. The forest was silent, no wind, no insects, just her and me, and the threads falling off my skin like red snow. The lake was there. It shouldn't have been, but it was. Black, still, waiting. There were 2 stones, old, carved. She said they were for me. I asked what she meant. The deal, she said, the day you died. My heart dropped. She took my hand and pulled a thread out of my palm. It didn't stop. It just kept coming, and I felt it, everything, leaving. My strength, my breath, me. She danced while she pulled it, smiling, growing, antlers rising from her head, reaching into the sky, and I collapsed, empty, watching her, framed by the moon. And I remembered, this wasn't the first time. I woke up in my bed the next morning. She was next to me, normal, smiling, like nothing happened, but I remember. And last night, I dreamed of the lake again. This time, there were 3 stones. I looked up the name this morning, Effenligger. It means everlasting.
We went for a walk just before sunset. It felt normal at first. Calm weather, soft light, nothing out of place. But the second we stepped into the forest, something shifted. Not in a loud, obvious way, just enough that you notice it and try to ignore it. The trees were too straight, too clean. There were no broken branches, no roots pushing through the ground, nothing messy. It didn't feel like a forest that just grew. It felt arranged. We kept walking anyway, talking, trying to stay normal. Then she stopped suddenly. So fast I almost walked into her. I followed her eyes down. There was a squirrel, dead, but not the way it should be. It looked emptied, completely black. Not shadow, not fur, just flat, unnatural black. No smell, no bugs, nothing touching it. Like the forest didn't want it. At the same time, we both felt something. She said it felt like heat running through her body. For me, it was pressure, deep in my chest, like something heavy was sitting on it. We didn't talk about it. We just turned around, started heading back. That's when she asked if I heard something. I stopped, listened. Help me. A woman's voice. Faint, far away, too far to reach, but too close to ignore. We kept walking, faster now, not talking anymore. Then I heard it again. Same voice, same words, but further this time, way further. And that's when something didn't make sense. There's no way someone could move that fast out there. Not without a car, not without making noise. I remember slowing down for a second, trying to understand it, and then it hit me. It shouldn't be getting further away. Not like that. The further it sounded, the closer it actually was. I didn't explain it. I just told her we needed to go. Now. We started walking faster, then almost running. The voice kept going, quieter, further, closer. We stepped out of the forest just as the last light disappeared. The moment we crossed into the open field, it stopped. completely. No echo, no fading, just gone. Later, I told her about something I grew up hearing, about a thing that calls out to you, makes itself sound far away, so you don't run, because the quieter it sounds, the closer it is. And we turned around exactly when it wanted us to, not when we were actually safe.
I live out in middle Georgia, pretty deep in the woods, on about 2 acres of land, and the nearest house next to me has been sitting empty ever since the owner passed away. And the only other neighbors are an older couple, a good distance away, maybe 100, 200 yards at least. So most nights, it's just quiet out here, in a way you either get used to or you don't. For about a year, I didn't think much of it. I'd go outside late at night, walk down to my carport, sit on the porch and smoke. No problems, nothing strange, just the usual sounds of the woods. Until recently. One night, around 9 p.m., I was standing on my porch smoking when I heard it, a baby crying. It came from the tree line, maybe 50 yards out, not too far, just far enough that you couldn't see anything. And at first, I told myself it had to be an animal, but then it happened again. Same cry, same pitch, same rhythm, and it sounded exactly like my son. He's 1 year old, and if you're a parent, you know, you don't confuse that sound. You don't get it wrong. The cries kept coming, every couple of minutes, and each time they sounded a little closer. Not by much, just enough to make you notice it without being able to prove it. I didn't stay out there long after that. I went inside and checked on him immediately, and he was asleep, completely still, like nothing had happened. I didn't go back outside that night. A couple nights later, it happened again, but this time I wasn't alone. My wife was inside with me when we both heard it, and this time it wasn't crying. It said, "Daddy." Not loud, not shouted, just said, like someone calling out softly, same voice. My son was in the other room, awake this time, sitting in his crib, not crying, not making a sound, just looking toward the window. We didn't even talk about it. We just locked the doors and stayed inside. Today, something else happened, and this one felt closer. My wife let the dog out, just for a minute, nothing unusual, and she told me she heard someone whistle right outside, near the house. The dog reacted instantly, hair up, barking into the dark, like something was standing right there. And I mean right there. Not out in the woods this time, but close, just outside the door. And when we looked, there was nothing we could see. The part that's been getting to me the most, though, is my son. He's been waking up at random times during the night, not just crying, but screaming, like he's scared of something, like something woke him up. His room faces the woods, and last night, I went in to calm him down, picked him up, held him, and he stopped crying almost immediately, but he wouldn't relax. He kept twisting in my arms, like he was trying to look past me, toward the window. I stood there for a second, just holding him, listening, trying to convince myself I was overthinking it. And then I heard it again, not from the woods this time, not from outside. It was coming through the baby monitor. Same cry, same voice, and it was coming from his room while I was still holding him.
If this story gave you chills, don't forget to subscribe, because the next one might be even worse.